Okay, Mark, it's all you, baby.
Okay, and you're going to put some slides up so we can see those, right, in just a minute?
Yeah, after you welcome in and stuff.
Okay, all right, so we're live, right?
Yes.
Okay, everybody, just want to welcome the entire community wherever you're dialing in from. Could be anywhere around the world, whatever time it is, you are absolutely at the right place at the right time. So we want to welcome you to the very first series of our financial education series. This is called All Things Crypto, and absolutely excited to present this along with my partners and good friends, Daryl and also Thomas. My name is Mark. Just a brief background. I've been semi-retired for about six years. Ex-company corporate guy, right? Just like a lot of us had the job.
What you say?
But the goal is to get out of that mode and live the life of your dreams. And Daryl, go ahead and introduce yourself. Give them a little background.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mark. Hey, with me, again, just an average guy, military, retired military. Financially, I've been teaching probably financial literacy for over, I want to say a good 25 years, teaching financial literacy. Professor at a college, so I teach crypto technology as well. So just somebody that loves teaching people, love helping people get to the next level. And I'm looking forward to this, course that we're going to be doing here together with All Things Crypto. So definitely looking forward to sharing some of my knowledge with some of the folks that's on the team to help people get to where they're trying to get to.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you,
Thanks,
Daryl.
Mark.
And Thomas, could get a little background from you, sir.
You betcha. Well, real quickly, just Thomas Dubois. I live here in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. I am a multiple business owner, and I cut my teeth in the network marketing industry, transitioned in that industry to the cryptocurrency world. And over the last 7 years, learned from a lot of hard knocks in this little space that we're going to be teaching on. And hopefully some of that will come out for y'all today. As a multiple business owner, I understand that we grow as we go. And that's what we're going to be doing here today, is taking this each week to a new level for everybody. And I'm just real excited. And Mark, thank you. And Daryl, thank you for all the hard work you put in. And I'm going to throw it back to you, Mark. Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And look, just to everybody out there, this is a community effort, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. I mean, hey, we're not crypto experts, but we definitely know a lot, probably more than some and less than others. But hey, we're here to help. We're here to share. We're here to give back, right? Give, share, and receive. And that's what this is all about. Same concept. So look, put your phones on pause. Don't be looking at Facebook. Focus in, bring yourself into it. You're going to learn a lot today, folks. This is step one of this journey that you're going to absolutely get a ton out of. So go ahead and pay attention. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide and get this thing going. But look, we have an agenda here. So we've done our introductions. Look, the goal of this training is to really give you some basis of the history of money and why do we have so many problems, but they've never been fixed up until recent times. You're part of something that's absolutely exciting that's happening right now, and we're all a part of it. And we're going to talk about what is cryptocurrency, why is it important, what's the basics of it. We don't need to be scientists and drill down to every little nook and cranny, but you need to know the basis so you kind of understand when people are talking about it, what is it they're talking about. So we'll talk about the types of wallets and then some safety tips that we'll share with you at the end. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So before we get started, think about this. How many of you really understand when you break this phone apart? Have you ever looked at the inner workings of your cell phone and your iPhone? No, of course not. Who understands how satellites work? We don't know, but I know I get a good TV reception on my TV, right? You don't need to know all the details. We don't need to know what's under the hood and inside the engine of everything. What I'm trying to say here, you just need to trust the system, be a believer, it works, and it's proven out. So don't get caught up as I like to say, don't get wrapped around the axle on every little detail. Just know it's working. Let's go ahead and proceed and go to the next slide. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand off. I believe I'm going to Thomas. Let's go ahead and take it away, sir.
You bet. You bet. Well, Mark, thank you so much for the introduction, for laying out the game plan. You know, in the future, we're going to be alternating. We're going to be expanding on all of this, as Mark said, and you know, maybe specializing in one thing each week. But here we're going to talk about, let's just talk about the biggest disruption in the history of the world. And what is that? Well, to me, it is digital currency. It is crypto assets. It is cryptocurrency. All of those fancy names that we have for it is all over the world. The financial system is changing, and we're having the biggest return on finances that the world has ever seen. Not even close to. And we're going to see a slide that tells some of the differences of that. So let's start off and just look at that evolution of money and just how simple that was. Well, you know, precious metals, gold and silver and copper and all of those things, platinum and all of those things, trading and using as commerce was kind of the original as it goes all the way back. And we transitioned into fiat currency. Fiat currency is the paper and coin currency. The truth is, all fiat currency systems in the world that have ever existed have failed. So every single fiat currency that has ever existed has failed. And so we have to transition into something else if we're going to use history as a buffer of wisdom, right? And so that's just smart. Well, you know, in this day and age, we all are, everything's got to be faster. One thing, everything's got to be is safer. And one thing, everything's got to be is better. And so as we go through these next few, I was in the a grocery store line the other day. And for one, you know, we're still social distancing and all that. And so now if you got 3 people in line, it seems like 200 people, right? But I'm sitting there, and then this beautiful young lady, she was actually about 80 years old probably, and she pulls out her checkbook. And she starts to write. And I almost wanted to pay for her because I was in a hurry, right? So I almost wanted to go tap my credit card on there because we all want it faster, quicker, and whatever. It is so funny. Watch this next time somebody pulls out a checkbook. Look at the people around you's faces when they all go, you know. So we went to credit cards that ended up going a lot faster. Well, the truth is PayPal, Money, and Rocket Pay and all of those are even faster. Keeps getting better with digital currency now, where like China Pay and Apple Pay and all of those things that you just pay straight off of your phone and basically could tap somebody's phone in most cases and pay for a transaction. Well, then that all leads us into cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency has so many diverse things to it, with smart contracting, with blockchain technology, open ledger, and all of these things that we're going to learn some more about today. But I think to start off, to understand kind of how money rolled and how money's going is a good slide to get started with. Well, when we talk about fiat currency and we talk about the United States dollar, let's just use this example. You know, back in 1913, when the Federal Reserve was created, a lot of people think the Federal Reserve was created by the government. That's just not true. It was created by man. And one of these Tuesdays, we'll do a section just on the Federal Reserve and on the history of this slide, because literally you could teach on it for days using, there's some great books out there, you know, Jekyll Island and the whole bit. So there's a lot of teachings we can do on this. Well, and as you can see, it's just a constant decline. Okay, and when we get over here, I got to move my slide real quick. See something. When we get down to 2013, think about if the dollar bill had declined to 0.05 cents, and we just went way more into debt by the trillions and trillions of dollars. Think about that as we get there. But, you know, let's just read these real quick. In 1933, FDR's executive order makes it illegal to hold gold, coin, bullion, and certificates. And so everybody was supposed to line up then and turn in their gold and silver and trade it for fiat. Well, Bretton Woods established the USD as the world's reserve currency. And then in 1971 was when Nixon closed the gold standard. And so our fiat was no longer even backed by gold. This was the beginning of the modern day fiat currency system. And so needing improvement, I think so. So this is where we come in. Well, let's just talk about the most profitable investments in the decade. So looky here, if we just use Bitcoin, the original cryptocurrency, it doesn't even come close to all of these other greats. You would have thought Apple was at the top of this list, or automatically people think on investments that Tesla is the thing. Well, you want to know the truth about it? My neighbor next door, in a pretty affluent area in the Aspen Valley, he bought his whole house with Tesla investment. Okay. Imagine if he would have had Bitcoin investment, he could have bought the whole block. So I love the fact that, there's great things and there's great opportunity out there, both in the stock market and whatnot. But it is dwarfed by the space that we're talking about today. And that is the cryptocurrency, crypto asset world. And this is an everything crypto call. Well, look at what's going on in the crypto space. When we launched these, when I put this slide together a while back, PayPal had just came on to buying cryptocurrency, that where you could buy and sell cryptocurrency. Well, now you can use that cryptocurrency to buy produce, but you cannot send person to person yet with cryptocurrency on PayPal. But that's coming because they are a P2P vendor, and so that's great. I was involved in a company 5 years ago that is no longer with us, that was doing the same thing that PayPal's doing now, yet our government here in the US was not ready for it. Although the exact same model, the exact same thing was going on. And so there's a learning curve going on in our government. There's a learning curve going on in our business. Well, when you see big business like this, like the Veterans Insurance of Mass Mutual buying 100 million worth of Bitcoin. Well, we all know the big one of 1.5 billion with Tesla buying, and what that did, that shot us up to 60,000 in coin. And a lot of his comments have shot us back down, and part of the reason where we are right now in the cryptocurrency space. So it's a highly volatile but highly profitable space. But every bank, everything knows, JP Morgan, you name it, they know that they need to be a part of this space. So some of the problems with our well, let me just take a minute here and see if Daryl, are you ready to jump in here and help me out just a little bit?
Hey, absolutely, Thomas.
All right,
man, great stuff. Hey, man, I'm absolutely excited, right? Because what we're going to be bringing to y'all each week is going to be something different. And again, they mentioned it earlier that we're going to be diving a little bit more in depth with certain things. I am absolutely excited about what we're going to be doing. Go ahead, go to the next slide, Thomas.
I thought I had it on it. I apologize. I must have. There we go.
So why do we talk about money? The reason why we start off talking about money is because a lot of times people don't even understand how our own financial industry works. And the reason why we want to explain it and talk to y'all about it and share it with y'all first is because many people have apprehensions about cryptocurrency. Okay, they think that the dollar or the financial industry in which we live in is solid and is good to go. So when we start talking about cryptocurrency and things of that nature, people are a little, kind of hesitant. Well, that's the reason why we talk about money first, to show you that system has not changed in decades. Okay, so what are some of the problems with that system? Lack of transparency, cross-border interaction, meaning that every country don't have access to banking, ability accounts, throughout the world. Everybody don't have account. They got to unbank. You might have read or heard some things about unbanked people. Okay, fees are astronomical. So that's more problems again with our current financial system. Okay, and this dealing with crypto is going to change a lot of this stuff. And that is the reason why we talk about money first, because if the financial industry that we live in was good, there would probably be no need for anybody to try to think of anything else to come up with. Next slide, please.
Oh, there we go.
So here's something just for your reading pleasure. For those of you that might be a little geeky or whatever, you can.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, Thomas.
I got to figure out how to get it back over
Yeah,
there.
some of y'all that might be a little geeky, you can go. They had a white letter that was produced, okay, by the inventor of, nobody really knows this person, but the inventor, Satoshi Nakamoto. He invented the Bitcoin. Okay, he done a white paper of why he done this. And again, the reason why this white paper became about is because he was so frustrated. Him and others were so frustrated with the financial system and the crash in 2008. When 2008 happened, man, that just threw people into a tailspin, and it caused all this. Next slide. Okay, so the financial crisis of 2008, which brought about the need for cryptocurrency, over 700 and something banks were bailed out. And a lot of those banks that were bailed out, here's what's funny, and not really funny about it, but here's the problem with all those banks that were bailed out. Only of the 700 and some, only 50 some of them even paid back the money. And a lot of those banks that were bailed out, they received huge bonuses years later. Okay, and this was a $205 billion deal here where we bailed them out. And how did we bail them out? We bailed them out with our money, the consumers' money. That's who bailed them out. So when they came out with cryptocurrency, it was a way that they figured that would kind of rival our current financial system. Next slide. And again, this is our first class, so to speak, or first training. We're going to be diving. We're just skimming the top today. We're going to be diving into this stuff so we can get more clarity and get more understanding on how different things work. So we're definitely going to be doing that. Thomas, go ahead and share about cryptocurrency for.
You bet. And I want to also slow myself down to say, Mark and Daryl, anytime that I'm on a slide, please jump in there if you have something to add. Okay, so what is cryptocurrency? A cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. Many cryptocurrencies are decentralized, network-based on blockchain technology. A distributed ledger, so I kind of look at it like a distributed ledger. It's like your accountant coming in and opening up a ledger, and every single transaction can be documented and enforced right there in front of your eyes by the network of computers involved. A defining feature of cryptocurrency is that they are generally not issued by any central authority, rendering them theoretically immune to government interference or manipulation, which is where a Bernie Madoff could never happen again, because blockchain technology now runs Wall Street, and that's been years now that switched over to, and so it's safer, it's faster, it's better.
Hey, so I'm sorry, Thomas, back on that slide.
You bet, buddy.
So when we talk about cryptocurrency and we talk about decentralized, this is exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about where there's no middleman. Yeah. Okay, that's why this is going to be so powerful, because taking the middleman out of all this allows for so many other things to happen. Now, of course, a lot of people, and we'll see later on in the presentation where you're going to see where some of the uses are, where Mark could talk about some of the uses that they have for cryptocurrency, but or the blockchain. But you're going to see why in the presentations we talk about it being a disruptor. Okay, it's going to be a disruptor because technology is going to take over, and people are going to be using this blockchain in order for them to do their business. And a lot of huge financial companies that's out there, that people don't know this because it's happening behind the scenes. That's why you might hear Greg talk about, the greatest transference of wealth. That's why, because this stuff is happening behind the scenes. All right, thanks, Thomas.
You betcha. Mark, I just want to do a check in there. See today, guys, we're tag teaming with you. We're going to be alternating and having guests on here and different things in the future. We're tag teaming today, and I just want to make sure that there's not some points that we're missing that either one of you have there.
Yeah, you want me to jump in a little bit, Thomas?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead here?
Yeah, just share some thoughts. I mean, again, this is impromptu. That's what makes it so cool, right? So
Right.
we can come out with our thoughts. Nothing scripted here, folks. So, crypto wallets. I mean, that is just like your wallet you put in your back pocket or you keep your money at the bank. This is what allows this to be the people's money. You could have an individual in a poor section of a village in a country that may not have a banking relationship and never has, but he may have one of these. And because he has one of these, he can have his own crypto wallet for free downloaded on his phone, and he could then receive and send cryptocurrency at will. That is the game changer that has changed the whole dynamics of peer-to-peer cryptocurrency and the whole idea of money. That's why this is such an exciting time to be a part of this. So as far as wallets are concerned, you hear different terms out there. I don't do paper wallets and all that because it's not very safe, taking pictures on a piece of paper and all that. I prefer online or mobile wallets, and that's just my preference. And again, we're not here to give financial advice. We're just sharing with what we do, not necessarily recommending to you, but there's lots of wallets. You've heard of crypto.com. We talk about that a lot in Cooplife because it's totally simple. It's an app you download on your phone for free. So it's quick, it's easy. And then, of course, if you want to have ultra security, you can move that off of your mobile or online wallet right into something that looks just like this, folks. And this is a hard wallet. That's it. You can buy it right off of Amazon for about $60, $70 and have yourself your own hardware wallet where you can transfer your cryptocurrency and unplug from the entire system and take this with you and put this wherever you want to keep it safe. So there's lots of ways to hold your cryptocurrency and keep it ultra secure. Okay, let's go to the next slide.
You bet. And I love the hard wallet thing when I think about if something was to happen to me. My wife knows where that is in the safe. She knows that on mine, it's a cold wallet storage. She peels the top of it. She gets a friend to help because she doesn't know cryptocurrency, but she'll get somebody like Mark to help and scan it in. And then she would have, some money to get her by while she figured out all the rest of my mess with money. So, Mark, you want to keep on going with the blockchain?
Well, yeah. Remember, I know enough to be dangerous. So I'm not the developer behind blockchain stuff, but I can tell you that blockchain is a trusted system that is so amazing to me. I do get excited about the underlying technology and the fact that other industries. So remember, cryptocurrency is just the utility layer that runs on top of the blockchain technology. So the real excitement is the blockchain technology and the trusted tracks that allow this to be an absolute secure connection from beginning to end. It's so secure that some of the biggest healthcare industries or healthcare companies in the world are moving to blockchain technology. There are so many companies that you're not even aware of that you've heard their name that are developing their own practices on top of blockchain technology because it's opening up the world in this very trusted manner where no one can interfere or change anything without somebody taking a look. So it's completely transparent yet ultra secure. So we love the blockchain.
Think about this.
Go ahead.
In our world right now in the United States, our government can print off $2 trillion like that. No transparency. But yet the blockchain, in order for the blockchain to go through or a transaction to go through, it has to go through thousands of computer nodes, has to verify this transaction. It's powerful.
And does that in seconds in many cases, unless it's Bitcoin, then it's a half hour. But,
right.
But here's some of those potential applications. Here's an example that I've used for 7 years now. Imagine looking at a house in the very near future, walking into that house, not needing to do a title search, not needing to do a background check or a check on finances, because it's all related into the blockchain, and all can be proven upon your phone, and going to look at a house, and right there having that transaction done, and the keys handed over to you while you stand there. I mean, that's an incredible thought, isn't it?
That's the power.
Now, I could say a whole lot about the one before that, and I believe the answer to a year ago on blockchain would have what we see in the news today that everybody's arguing over, that would have been changed if blockchain technology was in the voting sector of the transactions, of the voting transactions. So there's just so much in the future for this. I believe, Daryl, that's one for you right there.
Yeah, so looking at private and public keys. So a lot of times people say, well, how is this whole cryptocurrency, how is it created? Well, I'm not going to go real deep into talk about SHA-256 and all that encryption stuff that will probably just have your eyes glazing over, but that's how they generate that stuff. And what you have is you have a private key and you have a public key. Now, it's just what it says. The private key is private. No one knows this. You keep that private key private. But then the public key is what everybody gets. Okay? And your public key is derived and taken from your private key as well. Okay, so that's why when you get an address and you send it something to another wallet someplace, that's what's happening. These private key is authenticated. It says you are who you say you are, and it gives you authorization to get your money. The public key is the address. It's sitting out there saying that, hey, I'm either making a transaction or sending a transaction. But the person that's actually getting the money is the one that's going to be validated with the private key. And of course, the address is what you're sending all your crypto to. That address is going to a particular wallet that we talked about earlier. Thanks, Thomas.
You bet.
And here again is just a little bit, real snippets. Public key is shared and it identifies the person. The private key is not shared, used for encryption and authentication, and it proves ownership. And then you got the recovery phase. A lot of times when you're doing your cold wallet or a hot wallet, and remember hot and cold. So hot is attached to something. Cold is not attached to something. Okay. And with your cold wallet, and sometimes even with the hot wallets, depending on if Binance or one of the companies out there have their own, wallet that they allow you, and you'll set up what they call recovery phases. Okay.
Can I touch on that, Daryl, real quick?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, I think I remember what it said. So recovery phrase, I mean, that's the last straw. So all I can tell you is you have to be responsible, because with freedom comes responsibility, right? And so the world of cryptocurrency, there's no 800, customer service department over in some country or anything like that. This is your cryptocurrency. It's going peer to peer. And if you lose your, your passwords and things like that, they do allow you to have a recovery phrase. But if you blow that and you lose that, well, shame on you, right? You want to make sure that you're responsible with cryptocurrency. Like I said, with freedom comes a lot of responsibility, but it's ultra powerful. I just want to make that point.
No, absolutely. And as we go through some of these safety tips real quick here, I'll just tell you all that after my surgery, I had a night that I was a little groggy, and I thought that I was just cleaning up my phone, and I erased all the data on my phone. Let me tell you, please, I'm not trying to say anything, but that was devastating loss that I was about to have. If I wouldn't have had what we're about to talk about here in the recovery phrases, it's sitting in my safe. I print them off. I write them down specifically. I put them in my safe, in a fireproof safe at that. I recovered, because I had the private keys and the backup phrases. I recovered everything but $3,000. And let me tell you, that was a personal experience of the importance of it. But let me take you through these safety steps real quick. And first, remember that YouTube is your friend here. So all of these wallets and trading platforms, they all want you to do business with them. They want you to find the reasons to use them. Like Exodus has tutorials everywhere. Gemini, Coinbase, they have tutorials everywhere. So as we hear said all the time, participate in your own rescue. And I love what Mark just said, participate in your own freedom. See, because I've been in companies in the past that everybody wanted everybody else to do something for them. Well, if everybody else is doing something for you in the space of your freedom of cryptocurrency, guess what happens if there's a crash? You don't have access to take care of it, and it now falls on that other person's shoulders. So don't make the mistake that we've made in companies in the past. Be a participant in your freedom, be a participant in your rescue, because the truth is, in this space, if you're not, it is, you have no, then you don't have freedom. You're actually dependent on if you can get a hold of me or not, or whatnot. So always use two-factor authentication of your choice, whether when using wallets and cryptocurrency, whether it's text, email, or authenticators. Authy and Google authenticators can be downloaded really easy. I have both. Making sure they have a way to verify you by making the transactions. So that's real important to two-factor everything. Always secure your emails and phones with two-factor authentication as well. If you have a phone that doesn't take anything to get into it, like if you don't at least have a dial pad of 4 digits or whatnot to get into your phone, you have to change that. If you're in the crypto, I'm going to just say it clearly, you have to change that if you're going to be in control of your own finances. Basically, you're allowing a hacker to have instant access to your bank account. Okay, and the hackers are very good anymore, and we don't want to scare anybody here. But two-factor, just in this day and age, we are in 2021, should be happening in everything. The truth is, working with cryptocurrency, the number one important thing to me is not even, because those wallets have a lot of security to them, so they're great. But if you don't have two-factor authentication to your email addresses, you are wide open if those email addresses are working with your finances. So if my Gmail account is what I use to log in to my bank account, and I don't have a two-factor authentication, somebody can go directly through that to that if they know what they're doing. So to get into my email, I have a two-factor on that, not just the wallets, a two-factor on my email. It is very, very important. And I know by experience, because somebody got through my email because I gave them too much information and they were a thief. They got too much information through my email. They then got through Coinbase to my bank account that was connected to Coinbase, bought 2 Bitcoin, and when it was 9,800, it was a $20,000 hack. So I think it's great to be able to teach you by experience. Now, my bank, luckily, was not one of those banks that was against crypto. They actually ended up getting the majority of that money back for me because it was still in the authorization phases. So by God's grace, I was protected. But that's real important. And I think, Mark, you were going to add something there.
Did you see it on my face?
I did. I did.
No, you know what? I mean, I love what you're saying, but I will tell you this. The banks also want you to be afraid of cryptocurrency. I don't know if you've noticed, have you talked to your banker lately and said, hey, what do you guys think about cryptocurrency? Oh, that's kind of shaky stuff over there. Look, they are so afraid of what's happening. And the banks are trying to figure out how to jump on board or they're going to be dinosaurs. So just realize you're in the right place. Don't be afraid. Take these safety tips seriously. But let me tell you, jump in the water is just fine. Play with it a little bit, transfer a little bit over and get to know it. I mean, everything is a little scary when you've never done it before. But once you do it a couple of times, it's like, oh, that was easy. I don't need those guys down at my bank. I could just transfer this to my grandson or whatever I want to do. So it's a great place to be. And, just use your head just like you would with anything that that you want to protect, and you're good to go. It's very secure.
Right. If you follow the backup instructions, that like I said, when I lost all data on my phone with 4 or 5 wallets on there. And because I followed the backup instructions, guys, I am not technology. Man, what Daryl does is not for me. But with those backup phrases, I simply put in a few words and all of my money reappeared for me. Thank you, Lord. All right. So I am having trouble going to
I think this might
is
be
this
our
the
last
final
slide,
one?
guys.
Yeah, that should be it, Thomas.
Okay, then let's unmute just for a second here. Any last words from you two, and maybe I'll close this out and we'll get ready for the presentation.
I'll just make a quick comment. I just, not to overkill it, but I'm just so excited to be a part of Co-op Life, and the fact that cryptocurrency is a part of what we give and share and receive, that we're part of the most 2 powerful things that I could ever imagine to be a part of. So I'm just so excited about the perfect storm coming together right now, and we're just at the right place at the right time. So looking forward to our next session, and whatever we can share next time is going to be awesome. Thanks, guys.
Daryl, any words?
Awesome. Thanks, Thomas. Hey, just want to say that we always talk about it on the presentations and everything else, is that this technology is the way ahead. Okay, that the old way of doing stuff is going away. So you have to get in the game. You definitely have to get in the game. Thomas mentioned it earlier. Don't be afraid of it. Just do your due diligence, do your studying. Again, like Mark also said, that I love this forum that we're going to be having. We're going to be diving in some other stuff, because what we want to do, and Greg has asked us to do, is to provide everybody on the team with information so you feel comfortable about what you have. Okay? They don't want you to learn this stuff. They don't want you to know this stuff. They want to make it like it's difficult or it's hard. Therefore, you don't want to dive into it. But it's not. It's simple. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be breaking things down each week to make sure that everyone is on our team have it down pat. So again, thanks guys for joining us today, and I look forward to the future with all things crypto.
You bet. Let me close this out here with thank you, Mark, and thank you, Daryl. Guys, you have about 20 minutes to get all your guests on, but right back on this line. So we are going to close it out so we can get the recording. Again, a big thank you to you guys. Guys, understand that most likely one of us will alternate or whatnot. We'll go through this. Each week we might have something new. I believe there's a real short video, trainingoncrypto.com, about to come out, that we might play that next week or something like that, a little 5-minute thing. We are going to take you deeper into, maybe what the different wallets are on each week, or so you're going to get a continued higher level education, but we also are going to keep the basics of the future of money and the future of crypto, the basics for all of your new people. See, many times we think about trainings and whatnot. We go, oh, I've heard this before. Well, you're not thinking about your team then, because your new teammate has not heard it before, and you want to be just as excited about them learning it as you learning it, as many of the things that we spoke on. So we're going to do that so you know what to expect every week, that you're going to get the basics of the presentation that we just gave. And then we're going to break down crypto or do things towards Co-op Life. So Daryl might know something going on with Co-op Life coming up that will benefit you in the everything crypto space. And we just tie those two things together so that anything that we're doing in the Co-op Life, that you're ahead of the game because you plugged in to everything crypto every Tuesday at the same time. And I do believe, guys, are you in agreement that it's not going to be all 3 of us each week? I don't think. I think that we're going to alternate, or maybe
we'll break it up
together, and we're going to work all that out.
we'll have a surprise guest once in a while
Mhm.
popping in here, you know,
You
who
bet.
knows?
Could, yeah, that one guy that you mentioned earlier, Daryl, I was just kidding around, the Bitcoin guy, but maybe
Satoshi.
yes, yeah, maybe we'll find the guy that bought the pizzas from Papa John's and get him on here. That'd be fun. But hey, you know, there's a lot to learn in this space, but really it is no different than doing your banking that you're doing now, just with different terminology, a whole bunch of copying and pasting, and a whole bunch of securing your own futures. So we want to help you to secure your own futures. 15 minutes. Everybody can get 3 guests onto the presentation. Can't wait for that presentation. God bless you all. Everybody have a great rest of your evening. Thanks,
Take care,
Mark.
everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Daryl, you got to end it all for the recording.